Good morning. Thank you for tuning in to Overcoming Life. I am your host, Opal Bailey. Today, I want to ask you about what influence are you making today? Whether you are you influencing someone else in your life or someone influencing you to live a better life, to make better choices, to walk a straighter path, what it is that you are doing to make a positive influence in your life or someone else's life. And the reason I brought this up is because this has really been on my heart, and I have to share this with you guys, is that in order for us to move past the past, we have to let go of the past. In order for us to move forward and out of the rut that our society is putting us in, far as the injustice movement, the racial slurs, and all of the other things that just come piling on to everything, we have to become people of influence that is positive. We have to be able to make a decision in our own personal life. It's not so much of the government, it's not so much of our leaders, but in our own personal life on how can I influence my surrounding? How can I positively influence my neighborhood, my community, my church, my nation, wherever you are? We have to really think about being positive in a world that is so negative. We can listen to the news all day long, and guess what? The news is all about negativity. They rarely say anything positive. Although there are good things going on in our world, there are people that are making positive steps and positive movements, but it's only shown when they're passing away or they passed away. So today on my segment, Overcoming Life, I want to encourage you to be a positive influence. Get out there and do something positive. Get out there and find out what you can put your hands to make a positive change, to have a positive influence, whether it's having a get together in your home with some neighborhood kids, or whether it is doing something positive in a community center. Whatever it is, we can combat this negativity by doing something positive. And the driving force behind everything that we are to do in our life that God allowed us to live is this very one word, love. We have to love one another. The Bible tells us that love your neighbor as yourself. So if that is really who we are to really be, then we are to first love ourselves. So if we don't love ourselves, tell me, how can we love our neighbor? How can we respect our neighbor if we don't respect our own selves? It's impossible to do. It's impossible to be anybody else other than what you've called to be. There was a time in my life, in my younger years, when I had this influence information given to me, and this influence was to, keep me from a certain kind of people, a certain culture, a certain race of people, because that person's belief system was, well, these people will, they will never allow you to get ahead. They will never allow you to be anything better. They'll just keep you back. And it wasn't until I had my first job working at a restaurant, and I was a hostess, and my boss was a different race. My boss was a Caucasian. And immediately that thought or that upbringing or that way of negative thinking, it immediately went out of my mind, because this boss was the nicest lady I have ever met. And she respected me. And that changed my thinking on race, period, on people, period, on human beings. People, we're all human beings. And the moment that we get out of the color and we're separating and segregating everybody into our little bubbles, we'll see that it's all about love. God created the world out of love, not hate, not separation. He said, for I so loved the world that I gave my only begotten son. He so loved the world. He loved the world, which is everybody. I believe we're all in the world. He didn't say, I love this race and this culture over here, and I hate everyone else. We have to be able to come together and be a positive influence, not just standing up and proclaiming justice, but be a part of justice. Do something positive. Show that you are doing something good out of what turned out to be evil. And it could be just simply finding out the families who have been devastated by assaults or injustice and in the police shootings or whatever the case may be, and come together in the neighborhood, just have a big cookout for everybody. Those things are positive. And I don't know if you know, but it's not even about race at all, because every race, every culture has the same thing going on. But the moment that we stop separating, dividing, and condemning and judging, and stop pointing fingers and saying, you're not right, and we come together in love, you will see that not only will our nation be as great as it can be, but guess what? The love will carry over to every other nation, every other culture, and they will take on this same thought. They will take on this same act, to where we can demolish hate. We can demolish evil. We don't have to have it in our culture. We don't have to have it in our land, because you know why we can demolish it? Because God said love conquers all. That's it. He didn't say love conquers a little bit or a part of things or whatever section that we want to claim love in. He said love conquers all. And that is the greatest of everything, is love. And God is a God of love. He's not a God of hate, not separation, division, separating this race from this race, this person from this person. He is all about love. And guess what? He's all about relationship. He's all about us coming together, finding out more about each other and learning from each other. And I'm going to give you this example of about a culture coming together. It was in the Bible. It's about these groups of people came together and they were wanting to build this tower. It's called the Tower of Babel. And so they came together and say, hey, let us build this tower to heaven so we could go and see God. So every person, all of the people, they had one mind, one language. They were unified. They all built this tower, and it was reaching up to heaven. And God looked down and he said, wait a minute. He said, you know what? These people are as one. They will do anything because they're unified. So if they can create something being unified, why can't we do the same where we are now? Why can't we be positive? Why can't we create something positive out of the life that we've lived? Because we've all gone through things, but we can use what we've gone through. We can use our tragic, we can use our pain and our hurt, our disappointments, our injustices. We can use those things for positive things, for a positive impact. But it can only be done in love, because you can have eloquent words, and if you don't love, you're nothing. The Bible tells you that you're just a sounding brass cymbal. You don't have no substance. You can even serve the poor. You can even give to a community event. You can even give to a cause. But if you don't have love, he said it's nothing. So if love is that powerful, love is that awesome, shouldn't we begin to take on that environment of love and let it be over our community and our neighborhood? So I want to encourage you this week to let love come out of you. Let love be that influence to make your environment a positive influence for others to gravitate. And I just also want you to know that this coming Friday, want you to prepare yourself. I have a special guest. His name is Kevin Newton, and he shared about his life journey with some of his friends who were sick, as well as his daughter. So tune in to Live with Nisi this coming Friday. And also continue to listen to me on TNR radio station. And God bless you.